Bruce Wayne's back for one issue on ComicPOP. Hello, population, and welcome to Off the Rack. I'm Sal.
I'm Ben.
And I'm Tiffany.
The comic book review series where we explain a comic and break it down by its core elements and then tell you what we thought about it. Today, we did Batman number 44, written by Scott Snyder and Brian Azzarello with art by Jock. So it's kind of like Witches meets Brian Azzarello. With that in mind, what'd you guys think of Batman 44? It's a departure from the Jim Gordon era. It's like a prequel kind of thing, but it also ties in directly with what's going on.
And this is supposed to happen right after 0 year.
Yeah.
Okay, so Batman is still in his early stages with this.
Yeah.
Getting into that, the book makes a lot more sense because this isn't the Batman that I'm used to. He doesn't seem as confident in what he's doing, but of course he's still going out there 110%. That said, the book threw me around a little bit, and I wasn't expecting it. I did end up liking it in the end, but it took a little while to get there.
I was very interested to see this version of Batman because I really, really don't like Brian Azzarello's writing. And so seeing him paired with Snyder, I was like, oh, okay, well, let's see where it goes.
Did Brian Azzarello ever do a Batman story?
He did Joker. It's like a graphic novel.
Even though I'm still on board for Jim Gordon Batman, like, I love this book, but I don't know, this kind of story is right up my alley. Like, it's very introspective and kind of dark.
And there's no real supervillains in it either.
Well,
I mean, like,
kinda.
Is the Penguin really a supervillain?
well, I wasn't thinking about that.
But no, yeah.
At the end.
Right.
No, this just really was right up my alley.
What y'all think of the writing for this book? It's Scott Snyder, but it also is Brian Azzarello, but I understand that Snyder wrote the whole story. Like, he wrote the outline.
I had some issues with how the story was told, and I think it's because it almost felt like it was like a play where someone's like, aha, I have the answer here, I'll go to this person, but I didn't do it. Aha, then I'll go over here, and this person did it. I didn't do it either. Aha, then I'll go, and they're like, all right, it's early Batman, he's figuring this stuff out, so he's not going to be like perfectly on point with this. But it almost felt like a wild goose chase for me, and that doesn't always ring with my idea of Batman. Now, maybe that just means I need to break away from my idea of Batman, but for some reason that didn't sync up until we got to the end and we really got to like the meat of the story and how Bruce Wayne felt responsible for things. And that really was like the key of the story for me.
You know how, like, when you're telling a story to somebody and there's like a lot of details, you're like, I don't really need to give you all of these. Let's just get to some of the more fun stuff. Like, let's just get to it. So, like, in that sense, I looked at this as like an oral tradition story, which I really dug. Like, I thought the writing for this was like really good. I truly enjoyed it. It was sort of noirish, but like this, again, like campfire story version of a noir tale. I don't know. Like, and I really liked that a lot.
Yeah. I would ape off that and call it like maybe like an urban campfire story. Because it feels very very mythological, if you can use that word and not overuse it when it comes to Batman, but also very grounded in real life and in real stakes. Like, real people are affected by what's happening. I mean, they're real fake people, but they're real in the story.
Yeah, and especially because of the fact that the story centers around like a murdered teen.
Yes.
Like,
was no real connection to anything.
Right. It's not like like a huge jewel heist or like, plant life is invading like Gotham, like town hall. You know what I mean?
Or the
like,
reservoir is going to be poisoned.
Right. Like, it's just a murdered kid, and it's the fact that Batman calls Gordon in.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
Like, them forging an alliance together, a friendship. Especially putting this issue in the midst of what's happening right now, where the two of them have, like, kind of reversed roles in a weird way. Like, I thought that was really neat to see Batman reaching out to Gordon.
It could actually be an explanation as to what happened in the last two issues. Why Bat-Gordon went to Bruce Wayne. Could be like an echoing of this.
Yeah.
And Snyder's just like, no, I'm gonna get there.
Right.
What y'all think of the art for this book? I mean, obviously.
I mean, anyone who's seen my review of Witches knows that, like, I love Jock's art. And what I always love about Jock's art is the coloration on it, like, always changes the nature of his art. He can do the scariest stuff you're, like, ever gonna see. Not ever gonna see, but that you could see in a comic like Witches. When you pair it up with, like, an intense coloring, it completely changes it. Or you can see something here, which is just gritty and, like, again, noirish. I mean, still dark, but it has a very different feel than Witches. It doesn't look like he just did his Witches treatment on this. This is what he does for Batman, and I like it because, again, like you said, it's more grounded in this real world, even though you're dealing with like a character like Batman. Lee Lockridge or Loridge or whatever it is did a really spectacular job on the coloring, and what I thought was neat was the treatment of different pages. You know, we had like completely stark black and white pages to monochromatic pages to it just really well handled. Really well handled.
Absolutely.
The art is absolutely beautiful. One of my favorite things that I noticed was this really dark line around Batman's eyes. And it was this wide brushstroke kind of thing. And I don't know if it was done digitally or if it was done by hand. It made me feel just like Batman was really intense at one point. It was a close-up on his face.
I loved the art for this book. I wanted to see like a miniseries or a graphic novel where Jock just does Batman. None of that you can get them, but I mean just like a self-contained thing that has no real tether to the continuity.
Yeah.
Especially because I want to see like Bruce Wayne Batman, like dark, gritty, angry Batman.
Yeah.
It's because the art obviously complements it very well. There were a couple of things that stood out for me. Number one was the image you have behind us. I actually tweeted this at Jock and was like, this is one of the first times I've ever seen Batman actually look like a bat. Like, Batman's, cape and everything. He's screaming like a bat. Like, his
mouth is open.
His mouth's open. His body language is that of a bat.
His panel composition.
Oh, my God.
Is spectacular. That scene between him and... the head of the, what is it, the 4-5s?
The 5-4s.
The 4-5s.
Yeah, okay.
With the smoke. Because that's what it is about Jock. He has, like, this incredibly, like, really visceral line art. But then can throw in these elements of, like, straight up graphic.
Yeah.
Like, he takes the smoke and it just, like, cuts a swath through the panel and you can put the word, it's just, I don't know, it's just so cool. It's so cool.
It's just very cool.
Jock's cool.
At the end of the day, we could analyze all you want, but it's just awesome to look at.
It is awesome to look at, and I love the fact that he threw in like pages, like articles, like history book things
with the art. So like, Batman's looking down on the city, and you can see like newspaper clippings overlaying the city itself.
It's just
that's Batman.
Yeah, it really is. Like it's Batman the detective, it's Batman the historian, and like, and I know we already kind of talked about the story, but. The fact that, like, the finger is pointed at, like, so many aspects of Gotham, including Bruce Wayne, like, I thought that was really neat because, like, Batman gets his opportunity early on in his, like, career as Batman to see the number of issues. Yeah. And the fact that, like, he is responsible for many things as well.
Yeah, and punching criminals... neither punching criminals nor paying someone will fix the problem.
Right.
No combination thereof. It needs to be more.
Yep. Yeah.
And it needs to be a younger Batman because he needs to... This is a learning experience.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
There you go, guys. I think we all recommend Batman number 44. You got to pick it up. It's available digitally in the description box down below. We'll see you guys next time with another episode of Off the Rack. I'm Sal.
I'm Ben.
And I'm Tiffany.
Keep reading and enjoy.